Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in life when you realize something that hurts but also sets you free. Nobody truly cares about you the way you imagine. People may clap for you when you succeed. They may comment on your failures. But at the end of the day, everyone is too busy fighting their own battles. They may give advice, they may talk about you, but they don't stay awake at night worrying about your dreams or your pain. Nobody cares about your dreams until you make them real. That is the truth that so many people fail to understand in the beginning of their journey. We grow up believing that the world will cheer for us, that the people around us will notice every small effort we put in. But reality looks very different. Most people are busy fighting their own battles. They are consumed by their own worries, their own ambitions, their own survival. They don't have time to care about what you dream of becoming, and they don't sit around hoping you will succeed. In fact, some might even doubt you or laugh at you when you share your dreams. And that is where the disappointment comes in. You expect others to be excited for you, but what you receive is silence or disbelief. That silence can either break you or push you to go further. If you think about it, the world only claps when something is visible, when there is proof, when there are results. People admire the finished product, but rarely care about the long nights, the sacrifices, and the failures that came before it. They don't see you working quietly in your room. They don't notice the days when you cry alone. And they don't value the endless effort you invest. All they care about is the outcome. And once they see the outcome, suddenly everyone claims they knew you could do it. That is how people are. This is not to make you bitter, but to free you from unnecessary expectations. If you know from the start that nobody is going to care about your dream until you bring it to life, you stop wasting energy on seeking approval. You stop telling your plans to people who cannot understand them. You stop begging for encouragement. Instead, you start putting that energy into action. There will be days when your dream feels too heavy to carry alone. On those days, you will look around hoping for someone to lift you, but you might only find empty space. And that is when you must remind yourself that it is your responsibility to carry your own dream. It is your vision, not theirs. If they don't see it now, that does not mean it has no value. It simply means it is hidden inside you, waiting to be shaped, waiting to be proven. Remember, even the greatest ideas were once invisible. Even the most celebrated people were once ignored. They kept working until their results became impossible to deny. This is why patience and consistency matter more than applause. When nobody notices, you still keep going. When nobody believes, you still choose to believe. When nobody supports, you still show up for yourself. And slowly, quietly, the dream you once carried alone starts to become real. And when it becomes real, the same people who doubted you will now try to be close to you. They will say they always cared, they always believed, but deep down, you will know the truth. They only cared once your dream became something they could see and benefit from. So, the lesson is simple. Stop waiting for others to care. Stop wasting your strength on convincing them. Nobody cares about your dreams until you make them real. And that is perfectly fine, because the one person who must care the most, the one person who must believe the most, is you. People are too busy with their own struggles to carry yours. This is something that many of us find difficult to accept. We want others to listen, to understand, to carry a part of our burden. But the truth is that every single person is fighting battles we cannot see. Someone may be smiling in front of you, but inside they might be carrying pain that keeps them awake at night. Someone may look successful on the outside, but deep down they might be scared of losing everything. People are dealing with their own chaos, and because of that, they don't always have the capacity to carry yours. It is not that people are heartless or cruel. It is simply that life demands so much from each of us. When you expect others to constantly be there for you, You set yourself up for disappointment. They may listen once, they may offer a kind word, but they cannot live your struggles for you. They cannot walk in your shoes. They cannot feel your sleepless nights, and they cannot cry your tears. Sometimes even the people closest to you will seem distant, not because they don't love you, but because they are drowning in their own responsibilities. When you truly understand this, you stop being angry at the world for not being available all the time. You realize that everyone is carrying weight on their shoulders just like you. This realization can hurt in the beginning. It makes you feel lonely. It makes you feel invisible. But slowly it teaches you the most powerful lesson of life, that strength must come from within. When people are too occupied to carry your pain, you learn how to carry it yourself. When they are too busy to push you, you learn to push yourself. When they are too tired to stand beside you, you learn how to walk alone. This is how resilience is built. It is not built in comfort. It is built in those silent moments when you understand that no one can fight your battles for you. Think of the times when you were struggling the most. You might have expected someone to rescue you, to lift you, but in the end it was you who had to face it. And even if people showed up, they could only comfort you. They could not erase the struggle. They could only give advice. They could not live your reality. At the end of the day, every person has their own mountain to climb. And when you stop resenting this, when you start respecting that truth, you set yourself free from false hopes. This freedom is powerful because it gives you control over your own journey. You no longer sit and wait for someone to carry you through your storms. You take responsibility. You look at your scars and accept them. You stop comparing your life with others, because now you see that everyone has their own weight to carry, even if they hide it well. And with this understanding, you also grow soft. You stop demanding constant attention, and you start appreciating even the smallest act of kindness. You start valuing the people who show up, even if they can't carry your burden, because you now know it takes great strength to help another while dealing with your own pain. When you accept that people are too busy with their own struggles to carry yours, you stop expecting miracles from them. Instead, you create miracles for yourself. You realize that the only person who can carry you fully through every storm is you. And once you know that, you no longer see yourself as weak or abandoned. You see yourself as capable, strong, and unstoppable. Loneliness is not a curse. It is a chance to build strength. So many people fear being alone. They see loneliness as emptiness, as rejection, as a sign that something is wrong with them. They believe that being surrounded by people means they are valuable, and being left alone means they are forgotten. But the truth is that loneliness can be one of the most powerful teachers in life. It strips away the noise, the distractions, the opinions, and it leaves you with yourself. At first it feels uncomfortable because you are not used to facing yourself without interruption. But over time you realize that this silence, this space, is where growth happens. Loneliness teaches you resilience. When there is no one around to comfort you, you learn to comfort yourself. When there is no hand to hold, you discover the strength of standing on your own feet. When there are no voices to guide you, you begin to listen to your own inner voice. This is where true confidence is born. It is not born in the presence of a crowd. It is born in the quiet moments when you learn that you can survive without one. Being alone also allows you to see yourself clearly. When you are constantly surrounded by people, you often wear masks. You adjust your words, your actions, your choices to fit into what others expect. But when you are alone, there is no one to impress. There is no audience to perform for. You are simply yourself. And in that rawness, you begin to discover who you truly are, what you value, what you believe in, and what you want to create. That discovery is priceless, and it only comes when you are willing to sit with your own company. Loneliness is also a space of preparation. Think about seeds buried deep in the soil. They are alone in the dark, unseen by anyone. But in that hidden space, they are preparing to break through, to rise, to bloom. In the same way, your lonely seasons are not wasted. They are seasons where you are building unseen strength, developing character, shaping your resilience. The world may not see your progress, but one day the strength you built in silence will speak loudly when you step into the light. It is easy to look at loneliness as punishment, but if you shift your perspective, you begin to see it as a gift. It gives you the chance to recharge, to heal, to grow without pressure. It allows you to let go of toxic connections and stand free. It teaches you that your worth is not tied to how many people are around you, but to how deeply you value yourself. And once you learn to value your own company, you will never again fear being alone. Many people jump from crowd to crowd, relationship to relationship, friendship to friendship, because they are terrified of being with themselves. But those who embrace solitude discover a rare kind of strength. They are not desperate for attention. They are not controlled by the fear of rejection. They are not easily broken when people leave, because they already know how to stand in their own space. Loneliness gave them that gift. So instead of running from loneliness, lean into it. Use it as a season to build strength, to reconnect with yourself, to prepare for what is ahead. Because once you learn how powerful it is to stand alone, you will never again see loneliness as a curse. You will see it as the foundation of your strength. Pain becomes heavier when you expect others to carry it for you. We all go through seasons where the weight of life feels unbearable. Disappointments, failures, heartbreaks, and losses leave us with wounds that are not easy to heal. In those moments, the natural instinct is to look around for someone who can understand, who can carry a part of that pain, who can make the load lighter. And sometimes, for a short while, people do step in. They listen, they offer advice, they sit with us. But what we often forget is that they cannot carry our pain the way we can. They can stand beside us, but they cannot walk inside our skin. They cannot feel the same intensity. They cannot process it in the same way. They cannot heal us from the inside. The disappointment begins when we expect them to do what only we can do. We expect friends, family, or partners to constantly be there to soothe our wounds, to rescue us every time we fall, to lift us every time we break. And when they don't, we feel abandoned, we feel angry, we feel invisible. But the truth is not that they don't care. The truth is that they simply cannot carry a pain that was designed for us to carry. Pain is deeply personal. It is connected to our unique experiences, our unique perspectives, our unique journey. Nobody else has lived our exact life, so nobody else can carry the exact weight we feel. When you start expecting others to carry your pain, the burden doubles. It becomes heavier because now, not only are you dealing with the pain itself, but you are also dealing with the disappointment that others are not helping the way you want them to. You feel let down, and that makes the weight harder to bear. But when you stop expecting and accept that this pain is yours to hold, something shifts. You start to focus not on who isn't helping, but on how you can grow through it. You stop waiting to be saved and start saving yourself. That shift doesn't erase the pain, but it makes it lighter, because you are no longer carrying it with resentment. Pain has a strange way of shaping us. It teaches resilience, it deepens empathy, it builds character, but only when we choose to carry it ourselves. If we keep waiting for someone else to take it away, we miss the chance to discover the strength that pain was meant to awaken in us. People may walk beside you, they may encourage you, they may hold your hand for a little while. But at the end of the day, the healing must come from you. You are the one who has to sit with the hurt, who has to learn from it, who has to rise again after it. This doesn't mean you must go through life without support. It only means you should release the unrealistic expectation that someone else can fully carry your pain. Appreciate those who are there, value the comfort they give, but never hand over the responsibility of your healing to anyone else. Because pain becomes unbearable when you expect others to solve it. But when you accept it as your own teacher, your own weight to lift, it slowly becomes the very thing that makes you stronger, wiser, and more unshakable than before. Stop waiting for validation. Clap for yourself. Too often, we waste our lives seeking the approval of others. We wait for someone to tell us we are good enough, talented enough, worthy enough. We post something and keep checking who liked it. We achieve something and look around to see who noticed. And when the applause doesn't come, we shrink, we doubt ourselves, we even stop trying. This hunger for validation becomes a chain that ties us down, and without even realizing, we start living not for ourselves but for the recognition of others. But think about it, why do you need someone else to tell you that you matter? Why do you need an audience to clap before you can celebrate your progress? The truth is, if you keep waiting for others to validate your journey, you may wait forever. People are unpredictable. Some will notice, some won't. Some will clap, others will criticize. Some will even stay silent, just because they don't want to see you rise. If your self-worth depends on their reaction, you will always remain fragile. But if you learn to clap for yourself, you become unstoppable. Clapping for yourself means appreciating your effort, even when no one sees it. It means saying well done to yourself for showing up, even if you failed.